And when you turn, you don't really want to be like ascending or descending, right?
Right.
Okay.
So one way to do it is if you roll into the turn relatively quickly, if the airplane hasn't had a chance to drop the nose or do anything weird, so you just look real quick at where the cowling is intersecting the horizon, and just hold that as you go through the turn, and you'll be right dead level. So, but if you take a lot of time to roll in, sometimes, okay, now I locked it in, I'm locked in a descent or
okay, yeah, I definitely may have done that.
But, you know, well, that's fine. This, when somebody's new, they don't want to, like, I just want to jam it into the turn. It's like, I get it. It's, okay. Yeah, I'd say you're holding altitude at least as good as I am.
Okay.
That's really, really good.
Cool. Yeah, I see how, like, you kind of get more from looking out there than looking on here.
Yep.
Definitely need both ways, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a small picture, and that's a much bigger television screen out there, so just look out the window. And you're always looking for airplanes.
Yeah, I know. So keeping my eyes peeled for that, or helicopters. Or...
Yep. So, and when you're doing that, you kind of work your way in, like, sectors. You know, don't move your head around a lot.
Yeah.
And concentrate mostly around the horizon, because
that's where you're headed at least.
Well, that's when if somebody's on the horizon, that means they're at our altitude.
Okay.
If they're lower than us, they'll be, you know,
like in
part of the ground,
like lower to the ground. Okay.
Yeah, and if they're above us, you'll see them flying along in the sky.
Okay.
So,
okay.
So
cool.
You're always kind of looking there first, and then you kind of scan around for somebody climbing up into us or whatever.
Okay.
So the winds are a little stronger over here, 19 knots now, and they're coming out of the northeast. I know, there's a lot of information to absorb.
I'm trying to, this is the way we're actually headed, and this is where we're faced, okay.
Yeah, but since we're not really going in any particular location, it's like, just kind of keep an eye on it. Back out, you see Providence, Boston, Bradley, and New York City will be down here somewhere.
This is way better than a boat. Let me just tell you that.
Yeah, it's probably a little more expensive than a boat, but...
Probably.
Yeah.
Depends on the boat, though.
Yeah, true. You can...
My dad lives in Fort Lauderdale, and it's like...
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yep. Oh, you know what? I didn't even... Did it get a whole lot quieter?
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Altitude.
Yep, okay. So now you're descending.
Okay.
I jinxed you. So since we had set it when I turned on the autopilot at 3,700 feet, when we get 200 feet below or above, it'll tell you leaving altitude.
Okay.
So just trying to ask you, like, hey, did you mean to do that, or did you just not pay attention? And it could be either.
I haven't turned to the right yet, so I'm going to try that one.
Yep. So roll in, and then a little bit back pressure, a little bit.
A little more?
Good. No, you're doing, maybe a little bit more, and you're holding in a little bit of aileron because you see how we're rolling steeper and steeper?
Okay.
It's okay. Just roll part of it out, and then just leave it like about there. Or maybe about there.
Okay.
Tower, Seminole 3117 Lima, 2 mile red base, 02.
Eventually, if you let go, the airplane will flatten itself back out. But it'll take a long time with this airplane.
09006. And runway 2, Seminole 17.
Another way you can tell if you're descending or climbing is to listen to the engine. If you start climbing, the engine will slow down a little bit because you're starting to lug the prop. And if you descend, the engine will start to pick up a little bit.
Okay.
But if you're really close, you won't be able to tell. So most of your turns have been so good that you can't tell.
Oh, I see. You kind of like pull it back and like towards the middle.
Yeah, so it's like turn and then pull back.
Yeah,
and then roll back out.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? So like roll in, come back to neutral, and with a little bit of pressure, and then when you're done, roll back out. So with a car, you'd turn into the turn and you'd hold it. Right?
With this, you just turn it and then you
this way,
move back.
if you hold it, it's just going to roll and roll and roll and roll and roll and roll and just roll over. So you don't want to do that. Unless you're in the right kind of an airplane.
Yeah.
See, we haven't had to do anything with the pedals.
Yeah.
You see this little ball here?
Okay,
It's a graphic representation of a slip skid ball that most airplanes have, which is literally a glass tube with a ball in it. And if you're going around a turn kind of flat, the ball gets pushed to the outside.
Okay.
Right? If you're banked really steep, but you're turning really slowly, the ball falls to the inside, right? So what you want to do is go through your turn and have the ball be right in the middle.
Okay.
So that's a nice turn.
Okay.
That's a coordinated turn. But we don't have to do much with the pedals and the ball stays right in the middle. But if I like do something with the rudder pedals, you'll see how much the ball moves, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I can wag the tail a little bit. So that's all that adverse yaw is pretty much gone at cruise speeds. At low speeds, you'll see it's not quite as perfect. But.
Descending a little bit.
What's that?
We were descending a little bit.
That's all right. Doing good. And if it was bumpy, most of the time you just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
It might lift the wing.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, and you might have to do something to adjust that. But most of the time, the airplane will flatten itself back out. And you can get in, like in the summertime, some pretty strong updrafts and downdrafts. So I'm flying level, but the airplane is going like this.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay.
So if I turn on the autopilot on those days, you'll see the autopilot's like descending all of a sudden and then climbing all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because it's trying to hold exactly the same altitude, and I don't like that. So usually on a turbulent day, I just turn off the autopilot and just fly by hand. And just ride the waves, because you go in one updraft, you're going to soon get into a downdraft, and it's just going to all even out.
But autopilot tries to it
tries to hold it.
Yeah.
You know? Now, if you're on a flight plan or something, or air traffic control said,
yeah, it makes sense.
Climb and maintain 6,000. They want you at 6,000.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they don't want you wandering around.
That makes sense.
Unless you tell them, I need a block altitude because the airplane's all over the place, it's really turbulent or something, but I wouldn't be flying on a day like that.
Yeah. Where's the, I guess, what's the best place you've flown to? Or do you just kind of fly around to fly around?
No, we go places. I don't know, there's a lot of fun places nearby here. Block Island, Martha's Vineyard. We've flown to a grass strip up in Burlington, Vermont, at the Vermont Teddy Bear Factory. We weren't going to the Teddy Bear Factory, but there's a cool museum right next door. So you land on the grass and then walk over to the museum. We did that for a day.
In Burlington?
Yeah, Burlington, Vermont.
Is it the Bird Museum?
No, it's called the Shelburne Museum.
Okay. There's a museum of like birds. It's just like a bunch of.
This is all about like New England stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, old school blacksmithing and.
Cool.
I'm gonna switch, I think, back.
I have a cousin in Burlington. He like built his house from the ground up.
So Burlington is about a little over an hour and a half flight.
That's not bad.
At least in this airplane.
Yeah.
That depends on what you want to do with the plane. Some people want to travel distances, so they buy or build planes that are faster.
Yeah.
Because that's their main purpose. My main purpose is mainly kind of more regional flying and hauling a whole bunch of stuff. We can put like 300 pounds of stuff in the back of this plane. You know,
nice.
Camping gear and bicycles and tents.
Oh, that's cool.
Whatever you want. The bush pilot guys,
that's really cool.
Yeah, they'll go hunting and cut up a moose or something and throw it in the back.
God.
Whatever. So the visibility is pretty good because those hills over there are like in New York State.
Okay.
Same with those. Those are up past Albany. And then way over there, kind of in the haze, is what's called Monadnock Mountain. It's up in New Hampshire.
Oh,
okay. So the visibility is not too shabby. And this time of year usually is pretty good, but we're in such a high pressure right now. This is really high pressure. It kind of squishes any kind of contaminants down in the atmosphere down to the bottom layer.
Okay.
So that's why you see this kind of like that line. But at least it's not cloudy and lots of humidity makes it very difficult to see sometimes.
Yeah, I imagine. And that's when you have to go off this a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah.
Not big on my things to do, go out and fly like you're in the middle of a milk bottle, Where you can't, you're like a little bubble.
Yeah.
And you can see straight down, but the further out you go, it just fades away and it's no fun at all.
Yeah.
Eventually not safe,
Wind of traffic, Mooney 77 Golf, left downwind, runway 9. Wind.
What's like the typical altitude range that this plane can go in?
Most of the time I'm flying like 3,000 to 6,000 feet, something like that. If there's clouds, I don't have a instrument rating, so I can't climb through the clouds. So I have to stay clear of the clouds.
Okay.
So if it's a continuous layer, I have to stay below it.
Okay.
If it's a scattered layer, I can sneak my way around them and get above. But you still have a little bit of a risk there. If you continue on and it gets cloudier, then you can't descend. You have to turn around and go back or something,
Oh, okay.
That's the beauty of an IFR license, is you can go up through the clouds and not have to worry about it. But it takes some of the freedom about it. You're on a flight plan on a heading, or the VFR flight, it's like, oh, look at that over there, and we'll go over that way. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah. Pretty awesome way to see the world.
Oh yeah, that's why I do it.
Wind of traffic, Mooney 77 Golf, for the final runway 9.
So that guy is flying at Wyndham back here behind us. That's an airport that doesn't have a control tower.
Okay.
So at those airports, you just self-announce. You say, I'm on the downwind for this runway, or I'm on the base. So other people flying in the area, or especially if they're coming into that airport, can kind of get a picture of where everybody is and how to fit in.
Yeah.
Could be traffic above the horizon right over there. I see some speck. It could be a cloud, but the mountains that are over there?
Yeah.
No, it's definitely traffic because now I see it turning that way.
Okay.
It's about to intersect the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's right at the top of the mountain. It's probably going to Bradley or something. I don't know. And I keep an eye on him because he's right at our altitude. So you can kind of see Hartford, barely, so you can see the buildings. And that kind of cleared area is Brad Whitney. Oh, there's the airplane right below us now, going that way. Over here.
Oh, yeah.
Got all my lights on, so it's much easier to spot airplanes at night with the strobes and stuff. In the daytime, it can be very challenging to spot, especially if it's hazy.
Yeah.
So if I'm going someplace, I may not be on a flight plan, but I do what's called flight following. So you contact the control tower, you tell them you want to do, I'm flying to Martha's Vineyard, I'd like flight following. So they'll give you a special code, and they'll...
they like track where you're going.
Yeah, once we take off, we'll change over to Bradley departure or something like that. And they'll be watching us. They'll know exactly who we are and where we're going.
Yeah.
And they'll call out traffic to say, oh, traffic at 1 o'clock, 3 miles, opposite direction, blah, blah, blah. So you'll, before you can see it, they'll be able to see it.
Yeah, absolutely.